Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and knowledge, welcome to a one-of-a-kind experience that will take you on a captivating journey beyond our world. Today, we have a special treat for you as we sit down with the renowned Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. Prepare yourself for a rapid-fire question and answer session that delves into the depths of cosmic wisdom and unveils the mysteries of the universe. As always, please remember to like this video and share it with your friends and family. That way, it gets seen by more truth seekers. So, without further ado, here are today's rapid-fire questions and answers.
Here's the question, which is about the multidimensional nature of time, which you agreed to discuss at more length when you could, regarding time travel, ability to reincarnate into past timelines, tapping into future selves, and related inquiries. What can you say all about that?
I don't have all the answers to that. The subject of reincarnating into the past and or the future, that has to do with being on specific timelines. Now, apparently a soul can go from one timeline to another when it's not in physical form. I don't know how that's done. I simply don't know how that's done. But I have been told that that's how that occurs. Now, the multidimensional of time on other dimensions is different. And it's different based on their perspective, the consciousness of each dimension. For example, here in third density, we have a perspective of time that a single day represents 24 hours. We have the perspective that a year is 365 days, or a cycle of our sun, of our Earth around the sun, our round planet circling a round sun. That's our perspective. We have the perspective that the average life is for male 74, 75, maybe 77, and for women it's 81 to 85 now. I think that's the average. Now, there are other third density cultures and races who measure time completely differently than we do. For example, they count a year or something like our year when their entire physical body renews all the cells in it. Now, what's interesting about this perspective is that it could be different depending upon the physical nature of their physicality. Some is shorter, some are longer. But what's interesting is that as they get older, the renewal of the cells in their body slows down. So does aging for them. Because in their mind, they're already aware, okay, I'm older, but my body's going to age slowly. That's the consciousness that they have, based on the fact that they know that the cells replicating in their body are slowing down as they get older. And that becomes a reality for them. Remember, it's here. It's here. It's consciousness. In other dimensions, in fifth density, the average life of an Andromedan is 2,003 years old. In our linear time, it would be 2,003 years. Theseus was over 4,300. He lived double that, nearly double that. But that was his consciousness. There are stories from other contactees that there are some extraterrestrial races that can live 10,000 years in a single form, in a single body. Is it just the physical body? It's partly that, but it's also consciousness. It's how they see themselves. It's the culture that they were raised in and brought up in. So in order to answer that question accurately, I would have to have the knowledge of a lot more extraterrestrial races to even begin to truly form an accurate presumption, because many of the cultures are different. They see their physical existence different. They see their spiritual path is different. They see their spiritual connection to source, whatever they call that, as different. In other words, diversity is the coin of the realm out there, along with DNA. There is no one size that fits all. But here on Earth, we have been conditioned to live shorter lives, which makes us easier to control, easier to manage. Because the longer you live, the more wisdom you acquire. And when you become old enough to be when you are old enough to no longer be a bad example, you suddenly offer a great deal of wisdom. And spiritual wisdom, life wisdom, really appears to be in short supply right now. Everybody's talking in defense and no one's listening. Everyone's blaming the generation before it or the generation after it. And none of the generations are looking at themselves and their participation in all of this. The construct of time may be one of the hardest things to tackle with, or for our planet to be taught. Because, we're told that our human civilization has only been around 25,000 years. And yet we find signs of civilization in 20 million year old stratum and rock. Some of the ET races have said that humanity, or human life and other type of life, humanoid life, has been on this planet for 400 million years, some longer. Science says the planet's 4.5 billion years old. Is it? Do we know that for a fact? Because, science is a religion as well. It has some dark magic to it, in the sense that if it doesn't know, it rarely tells you it doesn't know. They will come up with something, and that will be the mantra until proven later, if they decide to tell you that it was proven later. There's a lot of things about the history of our planet they just keep hidden because it doesn't fit the narrative that they created for us. I mean, there's just so many examples of that, That's a form of dark magic because they're hiding it. They're keeping it hidden. And there is no real reason to hide any of that information except for the fact that they do not want us to have that knowledge, because they have us in this box. They have our consciousness in this box, and that's exactly where they want it. Because as long as we're in that box, we're manageable. You see, we're manageable. The minute we get outside that box, genie's out of the bottle. They can't put us back in the box. That means we have to be dealt with. And we are extremely powerful beings. We have no idea how powerful we are. So you're probably not satisfied with that answer, but that's what it is. That's what it is today with the knowledge that I have. And I've said this for years. I don't know everything. I just don't. There's just too much to know. And there are many other people who have other pieces of this puzzle who are now coming forward and presenting, or who have in the past presented their piece of the puzzle. And there are others coming in the very near future who will introduce their pieces of the puzzle. And at some point, all those pieces will come together, and it'll be an aha moment for humanity. And that's something we're all looking forward to, is that aha moment.
As we on Earth are made of 22 ET races, is it possible to initiate contact with races which are not from our genetic connections? If a person wanted to contact the Andromedans, how would one go about creating the space to, have this experience? Is it possible?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I've always felt that there needed to be more contact with star families and people here on Earth. There needed to be a lot more. Millions and millions and millions of people, in my opinion, need to be contacted by their star families, those that they're related to. Maybe a future self that comes back in time to help assist you in what you're looking for, or to give you a piece of knowledge that you need in order for you to understand your journey and to line up all the things in your life, all your questions, so that you now have a specific intent and a specific focus that moves you forward to what it is that your original intention was in incarnating on the Earth. I've always felt that way, and I have voiced that many, many times in the past over the last 30 years. But I don't have an answer for that question. I will say, though, that in regards to the 22 races, if there is a genetic link to this planet from star family, star races, to a genetic link to this planet, they have a right to intervene on behalf of that genetic link, to protect it. They have a right to do that. And I talked about that years and years ago in the notes. So the question is, what is your genetic link and to which group? That I don't know. I think it was webinar 110, 109, 110, 111, where we did the different blood types and where the different blood types came from. If you know your blood type, why don't you go back to that presentation? Maybe there's a transcript that's been done on that. I know that Nancy and Joseph Kampf do the transcriptions here in the States. I know James, I think, has Sonia in Canada, in England, that does a transcribing. Maybe we can get those up for you so you can look at that that structure. If not, I will go back to my journals, which is where I put all these presentations. And we can pull that up and somehow get that posted up on the website. Maybe that would help. It's frustrating to be hungry for information and knowledge and not know where to get it. Believe me, I totally understand. I just don't have all the pieces. I want to, but at the moment I don't. But we'll do whatever we can do to assist you on your journey and wanting you and helping you figure it out. But as far as another star group visiting you when your genetic lineage is with a different type of star group, I don't know the protocols of those. I just don't know. Unless it's something maybe where it's a mass communication. But from what I have been told in previous rescue missions on other worlds where something like this has happened, when there is a presentation, a formal meeting between star elders, star groups, and the people of a planet, the DNA, those that represent the DNA groups on the planet are all present at the same time. In other words, every DNA lineage is represented at that meeting, at the introduction. And they would present themselves, and then they would say, okay, we represent this specific group, this specific bloodline or lineage. In this part of the world with a history of this genetic line, and then they would present their evidence showing that they are here representing you and your genetic lineage. It's complicated, but they're very specific protocols. And each protocol is designed during these presentations to initiate self-empowerment. In other words, hey, we're your family. I know we're meeting for the first time, but we're your family. We know who you are. We represent you off-world or in the future. And of course, that resolves a lot of problems for a lot of people. So I don't know how this is going to unfold. If I did know, I would have already told you. The bits and pieces I have, I've shared. But I know there's others coming behind me who will be doing the rest of this. They will. There'll be, you have some very amazing closers coming in to finish the work. That some of us have begun. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it's always been done. Some plow the trail, some whack the trail, they're trailblazers, and then there's others that follow behind, and then they cut their own trails in different directions, but in the end they all end up at the same place. And that's at first introductions or second introductions. First contact, that's such a rubbish expression. Our ancestors already had first contact. We just don't know about it. They haven't taught us that.
Could you speak more to the relationship or partnership between humanity and Mother Earth? I had assumed she was supporting humanity, pulling us up in frequency, but I believe you mentioned we are helping her to ascend. I'd love to know more on this interconnectedness, asks Michelle H.
Okay, good question, Michelle. Well, it's a symbiotic relationship. Any civilization that is living on a living planet is expected to be a responsible partner. Humanity was for a very long time a responsible partner, as proved by the indigenous cultures. They weren't always responsible with other groups of indigenous people. But again, that was all part of the training to divide humanity with different languages and different belief systems. And we were all susceptible to that because that's all we knew. Yes, Earth is rising her vibration, her frequency. But in addition to that, there are soul groups here from 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. There are soul groups here who are grounding the frequency, the energy of higher spiritual knowledge and awareness on the planet, which is helping the planet continue to raise her frequency as she continues to evolve and expand. She's getting bigger as well. DNA is an antenna. In the body of a very evolved spiritual soul, it's a lightning rod. It's very easy for the Earth to use that DNA to draw down information. I'll give you the best example I can. How many of you have daydreamed, and during that daydream, all this information was downloaded? You can't make heads or tails of it, but you see all this information coming down. Geometric patterns, geometric shapes, language, pictures, all this information that you have no idea what it is that has passed through you. How many of you have had dreams, sleeping dreams, of exactly the same thing? Or meditations, where all this information just came down out of nowhere and you don't know what it is. And there's a part of you that thinks, well, that information was for me, but I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do with it. Well, there may be slices of that information that were for you. But it also could be that the Earth used you as an antenna to draw information to herself. Crop circles is another way of information being given to Earth, because there's multiple layers of information in those crop circles. And we only see the physical nature of that information. We don't see the spiritual nature of the information that went into the Earth herself. Typically, it will go into quartz or granite, which is crushed quartz. And that's how she takes the information in, and then she figures it out herself. Earth, the planet, is a very, very evolved being, beyond our comprehension. But she also knows that the core nature of ourselves, of our humanity, is one of love and one of compassion. Yes, we have our moments when we're complete idiots. But she also knows that much of that has been instigated. She also knows that when we stop being idiots, we have this huge awareness of compassion and an overflowing of sorrow and then compassion for everything that's just occurred. And then we go out of our way to try to make things right. That means a lot. That means a lot to her, to know that we have that level and that depth of compassion. Because that's what she needs, and that's what she has for us. The relationship that we have with all life around us is something we have not paid enough attention to. We just haven't. We've been distracted by all this other stuff outside of ourselves. And that's all been done intentionally to keep us distracted, to keep us away from our real true source of power, which is our spiritual being. This group has masterfully played us all very, very well. But as we are becoming aware and separating ourselves outside of this control mechanism and this manipulation, we are regaining our spiritual selves and our strength. And that's the portion of us, that's the part of us that the earth is the most grateful for, because we connect her to those higher densities with information. Now, it could very well be that there are planets in higher dimensions that have made this jump, like she's about to, that are sending information to her through us. It's all possible. All of it is possible. Don't think for a minute that that's not possible, because it is. It's totally possible. That's how incredible you are. And that's why they don't want you to know how incredible you are. Because you can do this. And there ain't shit they can do except try to shut you down and convince you that you're a wimpy little victim, powerless, that you need to be in fear. But a lot of people aren't ready to even hear these kind of concepts. And they're just like, Collier, you're nuts. Okay, fine, whatever. But the reality is, this is who you are. This is what we're about. And there are specific soul groups here holding down those frequencies. They're holding down that connection to each of those dimensional planes. This is a team effort, folks. This is a team effort. And we're going to get there. We are. We're going to get there.
There you have it, fellow truth seekers. An enlightening and exhilarating rapid-fire question and answer session with the remarkable Alex Collier, sharing his profound encounters with the benevolent Andromedan extraterrestrial beings. As we continue on our cosmic journey, let us embrace the wisdom of the Andromedans and carry their message of love, unity, and compassion with us. Together, we can create a world where humanity stands united, ready to embrace the wonders that await us in the vast expanse of the universe. If you found this rapid-fire question and answer session fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on more captivating content like this. Thank you for joining us on this incredible adventure. Until next time, may the stars guide you on your path of enlightenment and exploration, and remember to always seek knowledge and stay curious. If you would like to see Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we host an online seminar 3 times a month on a Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information and dates of upcoming online seminars, please visit alexcollier.org. Please click on one of the above videos to seek more of Alex Collier's knowledge.